So yeah, we're going live in 2 places at the same time. I know I can do it. I can do this. Watch, watch, watch. Watch me work. Yeah, okay. So today we're talking about disappearing acts. Yes, disappearing acts. What's going on, Trisha? I'm talking about disappearing acts, and what I'm talking about specifically is related to an experience that I've had in the last 48 hours. And these disappearing acts are talking specifically about how the version of a person that I met in a store versus the version of this person that I got online, those were 2 different people. And I contrast that with a version of someone who was working with me as a client. So I want to say, first of all, that you don't always see this thing happening in real time. But the moment that record button goes live, the moment it hits, or the moment that pitch begins, or the moment that all eyes are turned on you, the moment that all eyes are turned on you, there's something that shifts. And that's what I want to talk about today. Sometimes it's the grounded, vibrant version of you that may disappear, and it's an act. And what shows up in place of that grounded, vibrant version of you is a rehearsed version of you that's always fighting to get it right. And I'm here to help us lift the veil. I'm here to help us remove that way of thinking, because we're not here to perform whatever our truth may be. We're not here to perform it. It's not a performative practice. What it is something that you actually embody. And that's what I help people do through the work that I do as a voice liberation strategist. So if you're here and you're ready to make sure that your scripted self no longer overrides your sovereign self, then this is the moment for you to step into the live reversal circle. This is where resonance replaces your performance. And this is where the real you no longer disappears, especially when it matters most. So if you're not quite ready for this full container that happens inside of the live reversal circle, but you know your voice is rising, you know you got something stirring up on the inside of you, I encourage you to go ahead and book your sacred voice check-in so you can feel and move into your next true step. That link is going to be in the comments for you after this live is done. Did I go live? Okay, good. Just making sure. I'm on a couple of different platforms at the same time for the sake of energy and time. So what had happened was, what's today? Today is 2 days ago. I think, yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, I had gone into a store. You know, you go to the store to get one thing, but you come out with like more than what you bargained for. Well, actually, one of the things on my list was actually a candle. So I go in the store and I'm like asking my son, like, what are we coming here for? Because, you know, unmedicated ADHD is real. Unmedicated and undiagnosed ADHD is real. But anyway, we get to the store and I'm like, what are we in here for? He reminds me, Mom, we came for a candle. We go to the candle aisle, and while my son and I were in the candle aisle, another person walks onto the aisle and starts perusing the candles. And she says to me, "Ooh, I love your hair. Where did you get your hair done?" And I'm telling her, "Oh, girl, I got my hair done at Chris Coffee Salon. Like, Chris is the owner, but Devin is the one who does my hair. Anyone who works in Chris's salon will get you right tight. Ready? Let me go ahead and give you Chris's information." Like, she was hyping me up about the hair. She was telling me that she's looking for someone to take care of her son's hair. And so that was the initial. Okay, that was the initial connection she had made with me. It was an ask, it was a compliment, and there was an ask. And as she and I began to have our repartee, she was sharing with me that she was an educator turned entrepreneur, which I relate to, educator turned entrepreneur. And she was focusing on how she's now able to build legacy on her own terms. And she said that she saw something in me. You know, there's a pitch in there. There's a pitch in there. She said that she saw something in me and that she wanted to share more. Can I share more with you? You know? And as an elder, as her being my elder, I didn't hesitate. I went ahead and said yes. So here's the thing I want to talk about: disappearing acts. So the lady that I saw in the store, this vibrant person, this motivated person, this person who had high energy, this person who was telling me the story of how she was able to go back to school and get her master's and walk away from well, not the classroom for her at that time because she had moved into counseling. She was able to walk away from education on her terms because things had gotten to a point where she was like, this ain't the life for me. I need something different, which is something that a lot of us, we reach that moment. So, okay, that was Candle Aisle Lady. That was the version of her that I got in the aisle looking at candles. So when it was the next day and it was time for our share, where she was going to share more with me about how she built legacy and share more with me about how she was able to make the changes that she wanted to make for her life and for her legacy and for her financial freedom, I was met with, and this is not a knock or a diss or anything at all, because I'm very much selling, but I don't think she and I were selling the same thing, okay? But when I joined that Zoom, there was, I guess, I don't know, the setup was somebody else was in there, like somebody else was in the Zoom. And it was apparent, through that nonverbal communication, it was apparent to me that I wasn't needed in that moment in time. And so she hurriedly created like a Zoom, the little room, like, go on over here until I come back and get you moment. And so I went on over there until she came back to get me. She told me, wait a couple of minutes. I came back after a couple of minutes, I think, and no biggie. It was in that moment where I understood, like, this wasn't someone getting ready to give me, she wasn't here to tell me, she was here to sell me something. It was like a setup. I don't want to say a setup, but it felt like a setup. She was very much trying to sell me something that I may not have necessarily wanted nor asked for. But so I joined the Zoom. She sent me over to the waiting room. I waited a couple minutes as was asked, and then I came back and I was immediately shooed away again. And then I was brought back once she was done pitching the first young lady who was in the room. All right, so we got that. We on the same page now, okay? All right, so now it's my turn, so to speak. It's my turn now to receive this pitch. And I'm expecting the lady whom I met in the candle aisle, the lady who was vibrant, the lady who had all this energy, the lady who had all this life, the lady who, like, she was literally in her workout clothes. Like there's nothing wrong with that to me. There's nothing wrong with that to me. She was showing up as her most authentically presentable self in that moment in time, and I was here for it. Now, the person that was Candle Aisle version of the elder, okay? Now we're in the Zoom call, and she's a little bit more polished. She's wearing something that most people would receive as being more professional attire, and her hair is now, it's got the slick back. We got the slick back going. Totally fine. Here for it. I'm rocking with you, because there's many versions of me, just like I expected there's many versions of you. And what I got next was the thing where the disappearing act started. Okay? Candle Aisle Lady was hype. In the Zoom meeting lady, she was performing. There was a performance putting on. She began reading from a script, which there's no shade. There's no shade in that, because I'm literally doing it right now. I've got some talking points that I know that I want to hit. And so I'm trying to follow along with the talking points that I know I want to hit. Scripts are not the problem. They are not the problem. Scripts are a structure that you use. It is a tool that you use that is aligned to the message that you intend to deliver. But what ended up happening for me was when her real voice was disappearing behind that rehearsed tone of the script. And when that happens, when you're disappearing behind the script and you're getting lost in the sauce because what you're saying out of your mouth is not aligning with what's soothing in your soul, it's not a strategy at that point. That script has now become another form of self-abandonment. That script has now become another form of self-abandonment. And here are some ways that the Quiet Powerhouse exhibits self-abandonment in her day-to-day. Now, you may identify with this as maybe you, it may not. I may be stepping on your toes, I may not, okay? And this is where I see this happening, okay? It happens when you, as a quiet powerhouse, you may apologize before you even finish a sentence. Oh, hey guys, I'm sorry, but. When you say, hey guys, I'm sorry, but. That's self-abandonment. What's going on? Piano Vine Studio. Yeah, that's a form of self-abandonment that shows up as a quiet powerhouse. If you also, you'll rewrite this email over and over and over and over again. You'll edit it and change it and mix out and take out a word and add it. You want to remix everything just to make it sound more palatable, more digestible, more acceptable to whomever it is that's on the receiving end of the thing that you're getting ready to deliver. That is some self-editing that includes an element of self-abandonment. Here's another way that quiet powerhouses exhibit self-abandonment in their day-to-day. This may be you, it may not be. Did you not hit publish on that post that you wanted to share because you thought it might be too much? Was that you? You didn't hit share? Okay, then I'm not talking. Okay, it's not you. Okay. Or maybe it was you who numbs the urge to speak in a meeting because you don't want to come off a certain way. You know what I'm talking about. Do I need to say it? You will numb and quell that innate desire to go ahead and speak up and say something. Your soul is crying out. Your gut is telling you say something, and then you do the action opposite to that because you don't want to come off a certain way. Or if it's your turn to deliver your portion of a speech or presentation and you're leading with some kind of disclaimer instead of a declaration. So if you get up and it's your turn to deliver a presentation, you're like, all right, y'all, this is the best that I got. I stayed up late. We don't care. You're abandoning yourself. We do care. But my point is you're leading with self-abandonment versus giving yourself credit for the awesome and amazing person that you already are. You are already the subject matter expert. Those habits are not random. That is a trauma-trained rehearsal. When you get up there to deliver your speech, your presentation, your pitch, it's now where the system that was designed to cause us to shrink is working without it even putting in any effort because you are doing the shrinking. You're doing it all by yourself. You're shrinking the very thing that you know to be sacred. What you carry is sacred. And you're sitting over here like, I can't share. Nobody must know. And that's not the case at all. People need to know. And I really want to shout out, because I am one. I'm really speaking to the heart of some of the Black women who I know in my life. Statistically speaking, Black women are the most educated demographic in the United States of America. We are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs. But the back end of that, even though Black women are the most educated demographic in the United States of America, when you look at the pay scale, it's not reflected in that paycheck. If Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, then riddle me this. Why is it that less than 0.5%? How do you say 0.5%? Because I'm thinking in music now. I'm thinking like half notes. And I need to think in numbers of a different kind. 0.5% of Black women-owned businesses, Black women-owned companies, Black women-owned entrepreneurial endeavors are receiving funding, not even a whole percent, not even a whole percent. And it's because we're second guessing ourselves in the spaces where we know we're the ones that hold the wisdom. The world is rewarded with our labor, but not our light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And so my question to you is, what do we do now? What do we do? We end up counting ourselves out before we even stand up. We end up shrinking our outer expression of the inner joy or inner anger or whatever the emotion is. We shrink that expression of emotion and we self-edit to stay employed, light, or to be safe, to be perceived as safe. And I'm telling you, your voice was never the threat. Your voice was never the threat. It's the system. And yes, we have to know how to work and thrive, and not only just survive, but to thrive in this system that was designed for our demise, okay? And this is why I created a couple of different ways to work with me. One of them being a sacred voice check-in. I'm going to talk about that sacred voice check-in a little bit later. But what usually happens in a sacred voice check-in is it's a 25-minute private session. You and I are one-on-one. I'm not pitching you anything. There is no pressure for you to do anything. I'm only here to be a mirror to your presence, to provide you a vehicle for your voice to land in a safe spot. That's it. That's all. So if you're a quiet powerhouse who is still gathering your courage, this is your landing pad. Because what ends up happening after working with me in a sacred voice check-in is you walk away with some nervous system regulation, some affirming of the thing that you're experiencing being real. It's not imagined. You get clarity on the root of why you move the way you move as it relates to your voice. And I give you the platform to feel your truth without having to run it through a filter. You don't have to run it through a filter. Just do it. The other way that most people work with me is in the lie reversal circle. Now, this is a 6-week live group experience that is for those who are ready to release performance. I'm laughing because I'm a performer. Okay, I'm a musician, so I am an inherent performer, okay? But the lie reversal is for people who are ready to release performance so you can reclaim your resonance as a singer, as a pianist. There's a lot of performing that takes place in my life, but what I love about the lie reversal circle is we meet every week for coaching. This is a safe speaking circle where you get to be seen, and what's taking place is we are repatterning the pattern in the beginning. There is a repattern of your performance. Repatterning. I want to play with that word a little bit more. We do some somatic work with your voice. Yeah, there's something to that, I'm on, okay? And what you walk away with is your signature truth piece. And this is a way for you to see your voice embodied in the work that you do every day. The signature truth piece is the star in your cap so that you can continue to move forward. So the woman that I met in that candle aisle versus the woman who showed up on that Zoom, totally different. What's up, Eric? Totally different. And the thing that stuck out to me was the lady who was in the Zoom and the lady who was in the candle aisle, literally the same person, but not really. It's the same lady. It was the same lady, but the way she showed up was different. The lady who showed up in the candle aisle, she was live, she was hot, she was vibrant, she was perky, she was interested, there was this natural repartee taking place, versus the lady who showed up on the Zoom, rehearsed, rigid, locked in, and just like unforgiving of herself and unforgiving of what I was giving her back, because she did make me an offer and I rejected the offer. In the offer, it was an invitation to do some things. I was like, hey, I'm not really feeling that. And so what I said to her was something along the lines of, I don't have the, what was it I said? It was something related to time, energy, and attention. I said, I don't have the capacity to expend my time, energy, and attention in that direction at this time. It was a long word, a long way for me to say no, but it was no nonetheless. And when that lady heard me say no, she didn't even reject it. She just like pivoted to whatever the next thing was in her script. I get it. We be selling stuff as entrepreneurs, but that script had kept her so locked in that it left no room for her. It left no room for her. And the contrast to that was, the other day I had a client who had booked a sacred voice check-in, and it was the opposite of rigid. It was the opposite of everything that I experienced in the lady who was reading from a script. And there's nothing wrong. Again, there's nothing wrong with the script. A script is structure. A script is something that is used as a tool. I'm literally using one right now as I'm talking to you, because there are key talking points that I want to hit. I want to hit these talking points with you. So when the lady in the Zoom, after I rejected her offer once, after I rejected her offer twice, she finally asked me. Now it got to be a natural exchange. She finally asked me. I don't have the capacity for that at this time. Yeah, man, like that was rock steady real. And I was, with that lady being my elder, there is a certain level of decorum that I wanted to show her. There is a certain level, there's some hierarchy to this. There's a pecking order to this. I don't think it's exclusive to the Black community, but there's an order to this. Like, there's no way I was going to call her by her first name, because she's my elder. She ain't trying to get, no, we don't do that around here. But when the elder finally asked me what it is that I do, what I said to her is, I'm a voice liberation strategist. And that was freeing in itself. I told her I help high functioning, spiritually grounded, mostly women. It's not always women, but it's mostly women. People who I call quiet powerhouses. I help them reclaim their truth, the truth of their voice, so that they can lead without shrinking. This shrinking that keeps taking place, the self-editing that keeps taking place. And when I told my elder what it is that I do, she didn't even stop. She barely took a breath, and she went right on to give me another pitch. Again, I know we be selling as entrepreneurs. She didn't pause. She was like, all right, and here's the next part. Like, she was giving me the A and B selection of her pitch. I'm trying to mind the times. I got to go pick up a child. Oh my God. But when I told her I don't have the capacity to expend my time, energy, and attention in that direction at this time, that was me telling her no. And so what I want to ask, is this version you? Like, are you the person who you show up in the candle aisle as the live, vibrant, peppy, perky, easily relatable person, and then when it's time to go live, you're showing up as the robot, the rigid person, the one who's not reachable, because it was like two totally different people. I couldn't get it. Or maybe you showed up like the person who was in the sacred voice check-in the other day. When I tell you this lady's got plans, she's got plans. And what happens in that sacred voice check-in is she has the space, the runway, the freedom to speak it out. There's, I don't have to tell some of y'all, there is power in the vibrations of your words that you speak. There's power in the vibrations of the words that you speak. And I was thrilled and delighted to be an ear to the things that this young lady was sharing with me. She wasn't loud. She wasn't reckless. She was honoring what her truth is. And that sacred voice check-in gives her the leverage to speak truth to power. And what was the commonality between the lady in the candle aisle and the lady who showed up for the sacred voice check-in is they're both Black women. They're both amazingly gifted in their field of choice. They are multi-hyphenates. They have this inherent wisdom that was earned and learned, yet they showed up differently. They showed up differently. And the wound that was common for both of them, the wound that was common to the two of them is that they've both been dismissed. They've both been silenced in the rooms where they were the ones who probably knew more than everybody else in the room. And inherently, it teaches us to play small or to be safe. Not anymore. Serenity now. Not anymore. Not anymore, right? Because inside of you, inside of her, inside every quiet powerhouse is a person who's ready to challenge these broken systems, reclaim your voice, and lead with clean, calm authority. The difference between the pitch I received yesterday and the young lady who was in that sacred voice check-in, let me tell you real quick, because like I said, I got to go pick up my child because he's going to be looking for me in about 5 minutes. One person was inviting me to conform. One person was inviting me to conform. And the other person was reclaiming her worthy calling as a human being. As a human being. So if that's something that you're into, if that's something that you're ready for, if you're ready to rise in your resonance and face the lie, if you're ready to face the lie, join the lie reversal circle. Join it. We start June. What is it? It's already June. We start July 7th. And yes, the lady who was in that sacred voice check-in did go ahead and join the lie reversal circle. She's rock steady ready. She's rock steady ready. And if that's not your speed or your pace right now, then just go ahead and sign up for a sacred voice check-in. Your no is sacred. That's what I feel like. It's June. I should know what day of the month or whatever it is. My birthday was last Wednesday, and I'm over here like, it's June. It's June. It is June. It is June. But I'm here to remind you that your voice is sacred. Your no is sacred. Your yes is sovereign. And your voice is ready. And speaking of ready, if I don't go pick up this child, he's going to be like, Mom, I can hear it now. Mom. And the circle is ready too. Now I'm ready to go pick up my son. I will holler at y'all.